before we begin, I would like to get a quick read of the room. So please raise your hand. Who uses AI on a daily basis? Wow, didn't expect that. Okay, who uses it just sometimes? Okay. Who never uses it or even avoids it? I expected to have more skeptics. Okay. So, who thinks it's useful but still not ready for serious use yet? Everyone thinks it's ready for serious use? Okay. So, I want to tell you my story. I'm working as a Jira admin for 7 years now, and I was fortunate enough to have eazyBI in our apps portfolio. So one of my responsibilities is to help users create reports, answer their questions, and for a long time I was avoiding creating custom measures in MDX because honestly I don't come from a coding background. But when ChatGPT appeared, I saw the opportunity and started testing it out when it was already free and version 3.5. At that time, it did hallucinate a lot, provided many bad answers. When I asked it to create code snippets, it imagined things like in JavaScript, formulas, functions, methods that don't exist. But soon enough, Microsoft collaborated with ChatGPT, and they created Bing AI. So I started using Bing AI. You needed to install Edge on your computer, had to get Microsoft account, and only then you could use it. It has had very bad limitations. You could only create a chat and then write 30 prompts at the beginning, and then the chat ended, and you had to copy everything you talked, all the context, everything into the new chat and to start over. It had character limits. It had also daily credits. So imagine you're trying to build a solution, and in the middle of your work, your credits end, and you cannot do anything until the next day. That was very painful. So eventually, I pulled the trigger and got ChatGPT 4, the paid version. And I've been using it for a while, and then found out you can create your own GPTs inside it. And one problem with starting just a new chat with GPT was it didn't have a style, it didn't have any context, it was always changing, drifting, and that's why I wrote my own GPT. So it knew that context is always about eazyBI, and always this is the code I want to get, and because original MDX does have SQL syntaxes like from, select, where, etc. And when eazyBI Assistant also came along, I started testing it out. So currently, I'm using ChatGPT, especially my own custom GPT, and I'm comparing it with eazyBI Assistant. So what can you do with eazyBI Assistant? You can create simple reports as long as it is very simple, basic. It, for example, uses standard dimensions, known measures, simple filters, etc. But it's never that easy with users. I never get actual requests to create a simple report. So everything eazyBI system does is like 10% of what users actually ask me. But I still find it very useful. It helps me create report descriptions to explain what some measures do, to explain what a report actually wants to show, how to use the filters, and I can put that into report description, so any users that open the report instantly know how to use it, and they don't come back to me with questions that, hey, something is not working. I don't understand the logic. And I also use AI for some nerdy stuff. So it's pretty good with writing advanced settings, JavaScript snippets. And quite often I have this problem that reports don't load fast. So I offload the calculation part to the data importing part, or even AI sometimes suggests to me to create some scripted fields inside Jira, so we already have the data, and when we import it to eazyBI, it loads pretty fast. So 90% of cases that I get is actually creating indexes, and this is an example I wanted to show you today. And it does sound simple, right? How many issues were reopened at least once? So I gave this to my GPT, and it gave me this answer. Pretty simple, clean, looks like it will work. I also gave it to eazyBI Assistant. It came up with a bit longer code. And I sometimes like to get... Yeah, I like to make them fight. So one AI gives me an answer. I give that answer, give it to another AI, and ask, please evaluate and compare. And I do get a lot of good insights from this, actually. Something I haven't thought before. So who thinks either of these indexes work? Maybe they both work, and they're ready to use? Just one person? Actually, they both failed. My GPT failed because it assumed I want to capture transitions to reopen status. Assistant failed because it assumed that I want to track status category changes. You have done status category, to do, and in progress. And when I asked the assistant to just give me an index, it actually created a report. I didn't ask for that. And what it also gave me is a non-working report because it did have functions that don't exist. So what actually went wrong? The problem is, for us humans, it's really hard to understand what is actually reopened. When someone asks me, I can give one answer. If they will ask you, you will give another answer. Does anyone want to share? What does reopen actually mean?
I would say start smoking. No?
Can we turn on the catch box, please?
But yeah, I think it could be transitions, like the first custom ChatGPT answered you that it is transition going back to some status that you have that defines reopen.
That is one of the possibilities.
Or clearing the resolution field, so it depends on the workflow.
It could be also the situation when, let's say, just you find out that you haven't completed, for example, the task resolution completely, and so you need to return to some point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could be one.
Yeah, and I like this approach the best by using resolutions. So how to make a good prompt? So my initial prompt was just tell me, give me an index that shows issues that were reopened once. But I'm lazy and I wanted ChatGPT to improve my initial prompt. So I told it, how can you improve it? But first ask me questions and avoid any logic issues. And it came up with a very long prompt, but it's actually very, very good. Because it instructs AI to first ask me questions, do not assume anything, or start generating code yet. First, talk it through, and then we can start building the solution. So AI then asked me, there are 4 possible definitions of reopen. I couldn't think that from initially. So it really acted as a very good brainstorming partner. And it also asked me a question that I didn't even think about before. Do I want to track the count of how many times a unique issue was reopened? Or do I just want to flag issues that were reopened? So I just told it, I want to track when resolution was added and removed. And then I want just to flag them. So eventually, I got a working index. So if I knew everything from the very start, my prompt would probably look something like this. But as you know, humans don't do that. Humans think AI is some magical genie that grants wishes. But if you know anything about genie mythology, they're actually malevolent spirits. And for example, if you ask, I want my wife to have a house fit for a queen, the genie will probably give you a beehive. So, my key takeaway from my talk is, don't talk to AI like it's a genie that just grants wishes. Instruct it first always to ask you questions, and through that, it will understand your business case, your business logic, how your workflows work. And then it will provide a very good solution. So I'm sharing with you my GPT instructions. If anyone wants to investigate it and use it. Actually, it's public on ChatGPT and named eazyBI GPT improved. But it will not tell you the instructions. So here are the instructions. And the main instructions say to write clean, compatible index that only eazyBI uses. Don't include the Microsoft stuff. Also, don't drift in style and stop including emojis in code. That's annoying. Follow best practices. I also gave it a few links to eazyBI documentations, to community links, because there's a function that it can search the web and find good answers. So I do trust it a bit that it does that. And main thing is what I want that eazyBI assistant would also have, to ask users always questions. Sometimes, yes, users will ask simple questions and maybe there's no need for a follow-up, but if there's even a slight hint that that measure doesn't exist as a default, and there could be many meanings for it, that it would ask first, and I think that would improve any AI. So I use it as a thinking partner, as a brainstorming tool, and I believe it's much faster than reading documentation and doing everything the old way by Googling, paying for courses, or writing emails to our lovely, very good support. But it does take time, and with AI, I can do the same much faster. So that's it, and ask me anything.
So, and
Thank you. That was thank you for sharing your experience. And so that's what I have been thinking also for more advanced users like you and some others. What we see that the users are very different. Some who have used it and some who haven't. So do you think so it would be valuable for these advanced users that we could provide that you could write your additional prompts that could be injected in eazyBI assistance, so that where you could collect some additional style guides? So would you think that would be a good improvement in eazyBI? Oh, and these additional prompt instructions, so that could be reused in each conversation, should it be just user-based, or it should be account-based, or the whole customer site-based, or any recommendations for?
I think any AI should have this ask me first approach, because you need to give AI as much context as possible. And I think you're coming from the point you need to train AI as much as possible with examples. But the language model doesn't work that way, actually. You need to instruct it how it should speak to you. For example, you can write your GPT and say, talk to me like Shakespeare, always in poems. And that's also the same with telling AI to ask you questions.
Okay, so that's probably, we need to think about that. So what would be the best approach? As what we see is sometimes that when some users are just playing maybe with these, so they just want something, so there's, you need to find the balance that if on all your questions, so AI will come back to clarifying questions, so then you might get annoyed as well. Yeah?
Yes. I completely agree. That is annoying, because we are lazy. We want to get the fastest possible answer, but until we give it the full context, all information we can give, until then we will not get a good answer. That's the main problem, and I cannot give you any other solution.
Okay, thanks.
So I have a comment to that. While we were speaking, I was thinking that maybe the good solution would be to, when a user asks the question and you provide the answer, to give the answer as is now provided, but at the same time maybe write also that this answer is based on some assumptions that I had to make as an AI, and if it doesn't satisfy you, let's make it better, and here are some follow-up questions, try answering those. That's what, and the question I have to you, like, is which AI assistant was better, yours or custom one?
When I did the Clash of Titans, assistant did say that mine was more direct in just giving the solution, and the assistant is more like a teacher. It explains things better.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's how you designed it. Okay.
no. Any more questions? I don't see any hands, so thank you very much, Mindaugas.